Good morning and welcome to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. It's a bit of a cloudy day today, but filled with love. It's starting to rain a little bit, and that's really beautiful because Mother Nature needs to breathe. Of course she needs to breathe, and she can only breathe when she has the rain, the natural rain fall upon her. And it's always lovely because what I've noticed in life is that we tend to dry up and we tend to forget the essence of what we all need, and that's water. We tend to dismiss water as if it's something that isn't really necessary because it's cheap, it's freely accessible. And I notice that everything that's cheap, freely accessible, there's no value to it. So people would rather pay money for, a drink than drink fresh, clean water. Water is our engine oil that keeps us healthy and fit. When you drink water, it nourishes, it purifies, it cleanses, it clears, it goes into our liver, it goes into our kidneys, it goes all around and into our heart. It's part of who we are. Our body is 80%, 70, 80, 90% water, so we've got this beautiful flow, miracle of a body working, and sometimes we neglect it. Sometimes we forget because we don't kind of feel that it's important because it's only water. Yet if you was in the desert for an afternoon and you didn't have a water, you'd certainly know how important water was. And you certainly won't be looking for a Coca-Cola to drink. So we often forget how important water is. And like I said, I look outside and see it raining, thinking how necessary it is for, all the life to grow. And we are part of Mother Nature. We were born into this world. We are one with Mother Nature. And yet we separate ourselves from it, which means that we normally stand on concrete. And this is why we become ill. We become ill because we don't connect with our real self. And our real self is, we are energy, and the earth, Mother Nature, is energy. So when we stand on Mother Nature with our shoes and socks off, Mother Nature, she's so amazing that she connects with you at that very moment, and she puts your body into balance. It's scientifically proven, and we kind of neglect. What, you mean just stand in Mother Nature? Well, how much does that cost? Nothing. Well, it mustn't be valuable then. So let me go and pay for this course. Let me go and do this exercise in this posh gym. And it's almost like we value things the wrong way around. And we have to start to learn to value the things in life which are free, because those are the things that really, really heal us. I do my best now to go into Mother Nature and to put my feet on the ground. I have always, since starting this path, always gone into Mother Nature and sat by a tree. If you think back when you were a kid and you used to jump on trees and play on trees and go crab appling, eating apples, and jumping on trees and eating all the fruit and just playing around in Mother Nature. If you really think back about that, you'll realise how healthy you were. I would say 99% of people would say, yes, I remember, I was healthy. And what that means is not just physically, I'm talking about mentally and emotionally. Now all we have is children who sat in front of either the TV, or they've got a phone in their hand, or an iPhone, and they're just in this illusion world. And we can see how children are becoming more and more frustrated. There's more doctors coming up with different symptoms to what's wrong with them, the illnesses and all these things, and really all they needed to do was put that tablet down, that phone, that energy which is so damaging to the mind, body and spirit, and get outside. But how cleverly the system has worked, that now you're even frightened to let your children out because we have so much fear pumped into us that we believe our children are going to be kidnapped and taken away. And actually the chances of that happening is so slim. But yet we believe even if there's an inch of a chance, we would rather protect our children and keep them indoors and not let them out. You know, when I was a kid, I used to go out at like 9 years old, go into the park and play football and play with all the other kids. And you know what? Yes, there were bad things that happened. Of course there were, but there's always bad things that happen. There's always bad people. But is that what we are going to do now? Are we going to imprison ourselves because of the 0.00001% of people who are bad? Which is so very rare that anything like that happens. Well, of course, if there's a chance, then I won't allow that to happen to my child. And thus we now have created a world where our children, we protect them so much that they're now actually losing the plot. They're not actually being children anymore. We have now changed their conditioning. We've changed their everything about them. They're not the same as they once were. So they live in this virtual reality on a computer or on a phone. They don't know how to communicate with people. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to mix properly. There's more new fears. There's more illnesses. And now, you know, the doctors and the pharmaceuticals are just having a whale of a time. They're feeding them all these tablets and saying that this disease and this issue and this problem. It's just, you know, it's so sad because all they need to do is go out into Mother Nature or find something that really inspires them rather than just sat in front of a computer or a phone. So life is changing dramatically, and the way our system is geared up, it is set to gear up with fear, to suppress, to hold you in your house, to keep you a prisoner. It doesn't want you to do anything. It wants you to just behave and just follow the rules, you know. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a lady in America and thank God, you know, where we live now, it's not like that. I was sat this morning having an espresso, and on our Calle Malaga, the children are walking 2x2s or on their own from as little as 7 years, 8 years old, just walking to school on their own. Now, I'll tell you another story now. In America, there was a lady who left her child in the back of a car because the child had got flu. I think she'd just gone to get some medication. It was raining, it was snowing, it was freezing. So she pulled up across the road from the pharmacy. She locked the doors in the car and quickly ran across the road and got the pharmaceutical stuff. And she could see the car. She was looking at the car, but she got her stuff. And when she came back, there was a policeman stood there and said, you know, basically, what the hell do you think you're doing? She said, I've just gone in to get some medication. She got fined. She got embarrassed by the world press. She was named the worst mother in the world. You see how manipulating the world has got, how crazy the world has got. And yet we're in Spain in a village and children are walking to school on their own from their houses to the school. There is no problems. It's the system that creates the problems of fears. If the system didn't interfere, if the governments didn't interfere, life would work much better. We have created a system now that is causing so much fear that has now suppressed us from being free. We are now enslaved to the fear of what the system and what other people are brainwashed to believe. So in America, there's no way a child could go out and play. No way. They have to, because they'll get into trouble. You see how the system works? And this is why I try to get away from anywhere where the system is. So I run away from the system because the system is absolutely a living nightmare for anybody. And this is why I talk about the system. The only way we can change this world is to just eliminate the system, to break it down and get rid of it. That's the only way we can get back to real truth and the real you and the real understanding of life, because we allow the system to think for us. We allow the system to take control of our lives, and the system loves that. It absolutely loves it, because now you are enslaved in whatever they say. Do you know what I say? I haven't come into this world for a system to tell me how to live. I haven't come into this world to obey, to be fined every 5 minutes because I leave my car there and it shouldn't be there for 5 minutes longer. You know, this is how the world has got. We have now become a crazy world. We are absolutely imprisoned and enslaved in a system which is absolutely killing our power, our inner self, our inner warrior. It suppresses us deliberately, and this is why I say you have to reject the system in a loving way, not a bad way. Just say, up yours. There's no way I'm going to follow them rules. Why? Because they are crazy. The rules are crazy. So like this lady who was named the worst mother in the world. Can you imagine? So clever. She stood up and then started fighting, and now she's one of the biggest warriors against the system. So sometimes the system does these things to us for us to fight back, and rightly so. And I was so proud of her when she was on the Richie Allen show. So proud of her, because she is now fighting for the rights of mankind, meaning leave us alone and let us bring our children up the way we want. Yeah. There's a lot of school homeschooling now, which I take my hat off, and to anybody who does that and says, well done, I say, well done, because what a challenge that must be. But it says a lot about the system when people are saying, stuff the system, stuff the school, I'm gonna homeschool them. I think that's beautiful. So we are awakening, we're boxing clever now, we're trying our best to find solutions to break free from the system that imprisons us all in many ways. So today was a bit of a babble day, but you know, I just want you to all remember that everything that is free, that the universe, that spirit, that Mother Nature gives you, is that what keeps you healthy and strong. Okay? I think the main message today is don't allow the system to break you down. Be stronger than it, because you are, because the system doesn't control you unless you allow it to. Have a great day, guys, from my heart to yours. Catch this.